Hey, what's up, guys? This is Stanfrag,
Croc.
And Nate Dogg.
and we're going to talk about Forge and Halo 4. We just got back from RTX, and we saw Forge at the conference that 343 gave, and saw a lot of cool stuff. I know there's videos online, but we wanted to give you our thoughts on it, because we saw it firsthand. Um,
First hand.
That was the very first hand, not even second hand, or third hand, or fourth hand. So the biggest, there are a lot of new features. I think one of the biggest things that stood out to me is that everything is not gray. That's a big problem in Halo 3, or Halo Reach Forge, I guess. Forge was really great with Forge World and everything, but it was really gray, and things weren't lit up correctly, and it really made the maps really dull. So,
Everything looked the same.
and it got old. So that was the biggest thing I was looking forward to in Halo 4, that hopefully they would fix that, and it looks like they did. They placed a couple Forge objects. We should have a video going over this right now showing that Forge gameplay, but they placed those Forge objects, and they were white, I think, with gray accents, so those colors might not be exactly exciting, but that they aren't the same, so contrast makes the difference. Alright, the first cool thing they showed off was the highlighting feature, and then you now have the name of the object you're about to control or controlling under the reticle, which is pretty cool. That way there's no confusion about which exactly object you're on. Totally clear about that stuff, and really cuts out a lot of the guesswork, I guess, that we've seen in Forge in the past.
Yeah, it was really annoying when you downloaded a map and you were putting like weapon spawns on it or something, and you say like you picked up a floor that's like perfectly placed, that someone no-lifed to put it perfect placement, and you just throw it off, and then you have to spend like the next 5 minutes trying to get it perfect.
Right.
It's just so easy to lock it to where there's like kind of a couple safeguards on it to
Right.
where
They
you can just click it and then be like, oh, I don't want to do this, and back out easily.
he's talking about the feature, the new feature where you can go in and grab it and lock it. So normally, whenever you highlight an object, it turns green, but when you lock it, it turns red. And then whenever you go over it and accidentally hit A, it won't let you move it right off the bat. So
What were we talking about before that?
that was just the highlight feature in the reticle thing.
Yeah, that's cool too.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, so now you can lock your stuff, and that's a really it's a really great thing. The next thing would be duplication. Somebody asked Frankie if they were going to include the undo redo features, and he said no. But this is the things that they couldn't afford to do those things in the engine they're working with. So these are the features that they've added in. They call what do they call them? Aesthetic. I don't know. I don't remember.
But with that lock and then the highlight, I mean, you really don't need it because you're not going to be making
the mistakes.
and like
Right.
that's pretty much all your mistakes. And the old Forge is just grabbing items or not knowing what you're grabbing. So
Right. But yeah, that was the big thing. There's not going to be undo redo, and then you've got the other big thing is duplication. And I think whenever they showed it in the video, it shows them, and then the object has the same tilt to it, but it's not at the same height, which wouldn't be that hard to fix. Especially with the other thing that they introduced, which is magnets. And so basically, if you've got two objects that match each other, you can use magnets just to pop them right into place without having to sit there and line them up, that taking you 15 minutes. So they showed making a bridge, which they said normally takes, if you want to line it up perfect, it'll take you about 9 minutes. It'll take you about 9 seconds with the new magnets and duplication. He just sat there and duplicated the bridge and then popped it into place really easy. Looks really cool. It's really going to improve a lot of those maps we like to see, like those racing maps and stuff like that. Pretty sweet. The next thing would helps with that, not gray and other all that other stuff. A lot of times, whenever you were playing Forge, you would see like weird shadows and light shining through the ceiling because physics don't work in Halo. But now they've got dynamic lighting, and what that means is just The area is lit based on well, every object casts shadows on every other object, and it does that every single time. While you're in Forge, at least, it does that every single time a player enters Spartan mode from Oracle mode, whatever you want to call it, 343, Guilty Spark, blah blah blah. Every time he changes, you hit the D-pad and he changes back into a Spartan. And Forge, it'll render the lighting and the objects will be lit in the correct.
Isn't there like what's the delay on that again? Wasn't there like a delay?
It was, yeah. It takes a second for it to render, which kind of stinks a little bit because it'll happen every single time while you're in Forge. But honestly, I'm gonna say it's worth it because as long as you don't have 16 people in a Forge game that are constantly going into and out of ball mode, it won't be that big of a deal. And then you get the nice feature of dynamic lighting, so everybody can have a well lit game and it won't look like things are out of place.
Yeah. Croc's giving me weird faces.
Uh-oh. The other thing is player trait zones, and these are pretty sweet. These are similar to things that I think Bungie's used in previous maps, but we've never got to use them as the community. They're areas that you can make bigger and wider, just like how you could resize teleporters in Halo Reach. You might have been able to in Halo 3, I don't remember. But you can make these areas and they affect the Spartan's traits, such as like speed, jump height, like what's it called, gravity, so you can make gravity really low or whatever. And then damage absorption, you can turn to where people don't take damages or take just a certain percentage of damage in the area. And then you could like turn people invisible. Any of the player traits you can change while in that area. So
yeah, like you can make an area where there's like 0 gravity. Well, I'm not sure if you can. Can you make 0 gravity? No, you can just reduce the gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Like such as like a King of the Hill zone, you can have a zone where there's just low gravity.
Croc's floating away right now. It's crazy.
Yep,
Trust me.
And yep, he's gone. Yeah, so you can just make specific areas like low gravity or I guess whatever you want. All I can think of is low gravity because that map we freaking flew around Foundry shooting people with guns with no shields. But yeah, you can make specific areas for specific specifications, I guess.
Yep. And then I think the last thing would be the Forge space, which was the area that they were doing it in. He said it's one of 3 Forge spaces that's launching with the game, and the game's launching with 10 regular maps. Is that correct? I think it's 10. I might be wrong. I think it's 10. That makes 13 maps. 3 Forge spaces and then 10 Wargames maps, that's a lot of maps for a video game to launch with. That's 13.
And the Forge maps, that's like pretty much Forge worlds.
They're
not as big, but pretty much like a Forge world type placement for Forge. But there's going to be 3 environments.
This one definitely looked like it was the same area as Forge World. You can see it in the video. I'm sure it's playing right now.
Yeah.
It looked similar to Forge World, but I'm hoping to see some with some other areas, like maybe one in the desert, like we had in Sandbox in Halo 3, or maybe one in the jungle that we've seen in the Halo 4 campaign. I don't know. Keep your fingers crossed. Yep, so that's what we heard about Halo 4 Forge. Croc's got all his fingers crossed right now. He really wants to see some more forest. Or
have a griff ball, Croc.
We're going to get impounded by griff balls because we're giving one away. They don't explode, so it's alright. They're griff ball plushies that we got here at RTX. They are about the size of your head. We'll put a link on the screen now so you can check that out if you want to enter to win one.
And we'll be giving away Spartan avatar items that we were given while we played Halo 4 at RTX.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to get some Halo 4 Spartan armor that is for male or female our avatars. Sorry, male or female avatars from one of the Microsoft employees. So we will be giving them away from now until the time Halo 4 launches. So we'll start giving those away pretty soon. We'll give you some more details on that. So go ahead and subscribe and be on the lookout for that video if you want some sweet Halo 4 armor for your avatar. I know I do. I think that's it, guys. Thank you for listening again.